Hello and good morning, everybody. My divine masculine, my divine feminine, into this reading for the divine masculine energy here, guys. Now, before I begin, I have a few cards with regards to the divine masculines part of the story, as we do always. And I'll tell you why, but there is a shift that has happened or is happening within the next 7 days because we always do a 7 days energy check for the divine masculine. And so here it is, guys, with strength. Now, I'll tell you why the shift is here with its strength. Now, this is a card where he had a lot of ego, he had a lot of pride, he was not letting it go. He had a lot of vanity as well. For some of you, I'm even getting that. There was no compassion or less of compassion. Forgiveness was not a part of his story. He was still holding on to a lot of grudges, anger, discomfort, that kind of an energy that really unsettles you within yourself, right? Because when you have too much of anger, pride, and ego that you show to the outer world, because it's within you, somewhere you feel uncomfortable as well, right? Because you're fighting against uh, some kind of a force that is perhaps not you, right? But you have kind of absorbed that energy within you, where you are or you have been trying to project your masculine power in a way where you were perhaps kind of fighting against something that you did not feel comfortable. You are not that kind of a person, basically, but it is a shield. It is a protective shield that you had within your life, within yourself, where you were displaying that kind of vengeance and anger and uncomfortable part of the story to everybody, where you by yourself had come to the realization that, this is how you can protect yourself from other people, from other forces, whoever tries to um, grab your part of the story or grab something from you. It's basically also, this happens to a person, guys, when somebody is very insecure from within themselves, right? And that is when they have this protective shield. It's like warning, don't try to mess around with me or else I'm going to attack you back, right? So that kind of a situation happens to a person when they are very, very insecure and scared from within themselves. That's why they always, you will notice that when people are being bitter and rude for any reason, any rhyme or reason towards somebody else, and other person is upset and they are, trying to understand what it is that I have done that this person has reacted so vehemently towards me. But what they fail to understand is that the way that other person has reacted was not because the other person wanted to react like that, but the other person is basically is very scared by themselves, from within themselves. So they are always in that mode, where they are always like trying to uh, shield themselves, protect themselves from other people who they possibly feel can be a threat or danger to them, right? So that comes out of fear, comes out of insecurity. Sometimes it comes out of a lot of pride. Like, I have way too much, I have done a lot in my life. I have reached that position. I have gained so much of money, so much of wealth. So don't try to mess around with me. that kind of a situation. So stay away from me. That could be a part of the vanity, pride, and ego. So this kind of an situation with that strength card talking about, not understanding, no sensitivity, no compassion, there is kind of misalignment of their internal value system to in understanding, and it's all because somewhere he felt very insecure about situations, about himself too, within himself too, right? He must have been feeling a lot more insecure lately as well. But that insecurity has always been there with this man, and that is the reason why he did what he did in this connection as well, right? Now, with this, the message from the angel or my spirit in this reading is for the divine masculine. It says, the moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. That's what they are telling him. That, whatever you have been doing for a long time, divine masculine, we understand. We really understand. We are not trying to point fingers at you. We are not trying to blame you. It's not a blame game, as I've always said. It's not a blame game in this connection here, but it's a game of understanding, having compassion, giving the other person a chance to make up for the losses in their own self, right? That's why the twin flame, that's why you guys are twins. Whatever difficulties you have, divine feminine, the divine masculine fulfills it. Similarly, whatever difficulties the divine masculine has, you fulfill it, right? That's why it's called the twin flame connection. It's called the twin journey, right? So this is exactly where he is understanding or will be understanding is this story here about this trend when he is learning to understand that this is not helping him at all, or it's not even helping the situation with this journey as well, right? So what happens here is the moment he realizes, the moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. Because what is happening with so much of fear, vanity, pride, ego, insecurity, he had stopped his realignment of values with love or with compassion. He had forgotten about that. Or he didn't realize that that was an important part of the story where things will become, very clear and more open towards this person's understanding, right? He was not allowing that to happen in himself because somewhere he was, again, like I said, in a very protective part of the story where he was kind of scared that if he, this is also because somewhere not only because of insecurity, but because of vulnerability. He might have been feeling very vulnerable. In fact, towards you, right? He was feeling very vulnerable that, it could be that you guys, divine feminine, y'all possibly can understand, that if he is soft and vulnerable, you might attack him. So he was in that, situation where he was defending that attack, right? So now he's getting to understand that the moment I realign with love, clear direction he doesn't have to do this. Clear direction has not been presented because he was not letting that happen. He was so vulnerable, so insecure that he was not letting that energy come near him, right? Now, the next card here says forgiveness. It talks about I holding on to resentment and anger, see, is preventing or even suffocating your spiritual growth. Resentment is one of the strongest and most damaging of human emotions. The act of forgiveness in its own right is equally incredibly powerful, and it has the capacity to heal and transform. Clear message, guys, right? So this is where he is coming to his understanding about forgiveness, about compassion, about the self-worth. This is also where he felt vulnerable with regards to his self-worth in front of you or in front of other people, where he felt that he has to prove his masculine power in a different way, not in the right way. You know what I mean? The next card out says ground yourself. So this is what Spirit is telling him. Being distracted, unfocused, tired, irritated, and impatient are all signs that you are ungrounded. Look, now is the time to become centered and allow Spirit to help you ground yourself and reconnect with the divine source. Self-explanatory, guys. So this is a clear message that he is receiving in himself through this connection or through the spiritual part of the story here. Okay, now with this strength, he gets the Tower and then he gets the Strength card. Look, so this is the actual Strength card where he is learning to tame his own fears. He is learning to tame his own demons. He's becoming more humble, more heart-centered. He's learning about compassion. He's learning about forgiving his resentment, right? He's learning about being grounded, where he was unfocused. He was unfocused. He was tired and he was irritated. This is also a lot of irritation in him, right? He was tired. He was irritated, impatient. And now he's coming. This is the shift that is happening or will happen within the next couple of days, where he's coming to the realization that no. He will have to understand situations in a different way now. He has to realign with love in order for the clear direction to be presented towards him. Now with this, the bottom says, I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. See, what did I tell you? Fear. There was a lot of fear. And today he's coming to the point of understanding that fear is not going to bring him any fruition. Fear is not going to ground him. Fear is not going to forgive, is not going to allow him to forgive his own resentment as well. So here it is. He is coming to the point of his own story here, guys, in a very different and spiritual part that is taking place on this table here. For the divine masculine, the bottom of this deck says serenity. Excuse me. The most important relationship you can have is with yourself. Look, this is the time to honor, nurture, love yourself more by seeking out and removing any negative feelings and emotions that are left over from yesterday. Don't let past issues and resentments interfere with your serenity today. Clear message. So they are asking him to leave all that he was holding in himself from the past situation here, and giving him a chance to realign himself in the right direction now. Because if you remember, guys, a long time before, I said that if he comes back, and I mean, he is coming back, obviously, not that if he is coming back, he is going to come back, but when he comes back, he should come back as the right person, or else you are not going to be happy. Divine Feminine. And this I have said many a times, because otherwise it will, excuse me, it will all go back to ground zero. Right? It will all go back to ground zero, where you guys will again go back to restarting the same journey with the same kind of feelings again. That for 2 days everything will be good, will be happy, hunky dory, and then the same part of the story will resurface because somebody has not healed here completely. Healing is very important in this journey because this man has gone through a lot of disturbance, and I have said this a long time before that if he wants to start this next journey with you in the right way, guys, he will have to be completely cured of his own problems. Definitely. Or else that problem will remain within him. And sooner or later, that problem will resurface, which will again make you guys unhappy once again. So, this time, that's why I'm telling you, this time it's taking a longer period in time because this man is understanding, healing, completing a story in his own life as well. Bottom of the deck is justice. Look, right? Severity and mercy. Lot of things. There are two figures here. One talks about a lot of severity in his life. The next one talks about mercy coming back here. Resentment, right? That was suffocating his spiritual growth. The strongest and most damaging of human emotions, where he was not able to forgive people or forgive himself for whatever has happened. That's where the severity had occurred. Mercy is coming in the form of when he was distracted, unfocused, tired, irritated, and impatient, right? Allowing yourself to ground and have mercy from the divine source towards this particular situation here. So, this is talking about justice in the truthful way, where he has gone through both. He has gone through severity and now he's coming to the point of mercy, right? Allowing himself to understand that this creative spark, the Ace of Wand, is going to begin with the sun. And he wants to, and that is what the Three of Wands, he has taken a decision with the Star card here to rejuvenate himself, to realign himself with his hope, faith, and purpose in life that had been suffocating him for a very long time, right? So, severity and mercy are both acts of the same person here that is playing out in this connection at this point in time. Beautiful. All right, let's look at the cards, guys. Give me a minute before I jump into the reading here. Okay. Yeah. So what is happening, guys, over here, what I see here clearly is the Ace of Sword in the middle here. Right here in the middle is the Ace of Sword, which is again talking about a divine gift by the universe, right? That he is receiving at this point in time or will be receiving here, and which he will accept. He will accept because he wants to accept the divine gift. He wants to take that clarity. He wants to feel happy right now because somewhere, guys, with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, he's letting something go. He's letting that control over his money, domination, and power that had been taken over him. At a certain point in time, he's letting that go, guys. He's letting that go. He's moving beyond that unreciprocity kind of a situation he had in his life in here, guys, somewhere that he had not had any reciprocity, either towards himself, towards money, emotions, love, no kind of reciprocity. So whatever he had given had not come back to him. So now he is coming to a point of his own realization, guys, that he will have to find his own meaning in life. Right? He will have to pick up that sword and he will have to find his own meaning in life. What he truly wants, what he truly deserves, what he thinks is right, saying the truth, being honest, being very clear, being very open to communication, not getting scared, having a victory over his issues in the past, when he was not able to speak out the truth to you, when he was halted because, like I said, because somewhere he was still probably awaiting for some kind of reciprocity. He still had some hope that maybe, if not today, tomorrow, somebody will give me back something. But that is not happening. And that, because that's not happening, the transition has started to happen, where now today he's coming to the point of his understanding that he will have to communicate this directly with you, because you have the Queen of Swords, which is your energy, divine feminine. He's moving towards you for that victory in communication. He wants to tell you all the truth and nothing but the truth. So he's coming to the point of his realization that the only way he can bring back the entire story in this connection is by being very honest, open, not halting with their communication, not feeling scared, where you might pose a different question, which he probably feels earlier or felt earlier that he will not be able to answer you back, right? When he's coming out of that situation, because today he's realizing that the message of communication in this relationship had not happened because he was still holding on to a lot of other kind of energies in himself that he had, where it was him feeling more vulnerable towards exposing the truth in front of you guys, and that is what was making him very, very tired, very anxious, irritated, because he was fighting. That's what I told you right in the beginning, that he is fighting something against his will, right? This is not the person he is. He is fighting something against his will because that is where his strength was draining him. Or he was draining his own strength because he was not able to understand how he could come forward and tell you the exact part of the story, because he was defending his own self against you or from you, divine feminine, right? So this is where he is learning about balance. This is where he is learning to control his emotions. This is where he is learning to understand with the temperance card. This is where he is learning to bring back his harmony. This is where he is learning to temper himself, to ground himself, to balance back himself, to come to a point of understanding that the truth is the only part of the story that is going to heal this connection, that is going to merge this connection, that is going to ground this connection and ground him too. And ground him too, because without being balanced by himself, he is not being able to tell the truth either. So the balance in this situation is very, very important with you and between the two of you. Excuse me, right? Because you see, what I see here is what I say, guys, and you know me, right? Because you see, with the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, he was feeling very vulnerable about his finances too. And I told you that a long time before, that he was in that story, guys, where he was feeling that he does not have enough. He probably has, but his own freedom, Not financially, that not that he is poor. I'm not saying that. But what I'm trying to say here, guys, is that financially he could have had, or he has a lot of money, or he has a lot of wealth, but when it comes down to his personal freedom, that is something he had been missing out, right? Because he was in that give and take kind of a situation where he was having a lot of control and domination over what he gives and what he takes in this relationship. That is what he's letting go. Because that is where he realized that even if he does that, he will not find his freedom. He has to find his freedom. It's very, very important. And it is also the freedom that you have, divine feminine. So he wants to be like you in terms of financial experience and freedom, where you are in that place, guys, where he can bring back the entire balance between the two of you as soon as he can find his own freedom in himself at this point in time, right? And that is something that he wants. That is something he's moving towards. He's moving towards because he also believes that you are the person who is not only wise, not only that you have learned your lessons in life, not that you have understood, not just that you have understood, but you are a person who is dignified enough to accept the truth when he comes to you to tell you what he has to tell you, really. Okay, so that is the reason he is coming to the point of his realization, guys, that this is something between you and him that now needs to be balanced out, that needs to be tempered, that needs to be compromised, because he is very, very tired of not speaking, not telling you the truth, and he's fighting this energy against his will. Against his will, right? He's fighting this energy against his will because he's not happy. He wants to compromise. He really wants to compromise. He wants to bring back that serenity. He wants to bring back that calm, forgiving part of the story where both you guys learn to understand each other's differences and learn to compromise on that situation as well in here, and that is exactly what he is trying to understand, how he needs to do that. Okay, that completion of that place, the completion of that story, the completion of that compromise, basically, where he can be where whatever has happened is compromised, right? The past is compromised, right, to bring together the present and move into the future. And that is an understanding that is slowly coming back into his life, that in order to compromise, in order to forgive, ground yourself, he has to learn to leave the past behind, right? The Eight of Cups. He has to learn to leave the past behind, because that is what he is slowly gaining, that clarity that if he doesn't leave the past behind, he will not be able to move in the future, right? So he has to follow his heart's desires. He has to learn to be brave enough, secured enough to follow his heart's desire in his life, what his heart is calling out for. Is it a spiritual quest? Is it a quest for his wish fulfillment? Or is it a quest towards his Ten of Cups? Or is it a quest towards a new beginning in his life? Whatever that quest is, right? Whatever that heart desire is that he wants to now follow should come back to him in the right way. And that is exactly what he is kind of getting ready for. He's being very, very resilient about this story here. He's learning to forgive a lot of things. Excuse me. He's learning to accept the truth, right? He's learning to be grounded because he has understood that in order to be grounded in his life, he has to accept his fault, his defeat that has happened in his life as well, right? Please talk to me about the Eight of Cups here. The Six of Swords. Yeah, he wants to move away from all the difficulties, guys. He wants, this is a transition that is on, right? There are three sixes in here. There is a lot of transition that is happening with regards to this clarity here, guys. With regards to this compromise in here. Because like I said, he's leaving that power over money, the domination, to find his own independence now. To find his own independence, to find his rewards for the success of his hard work, of whatever he has manifested in his life. And that is a clarity he's coming to terms with, where he is understanding that he cannot stay in this energy anymore. He has to give that energy up, where he's been very tired, brutally wounded, right? Fatigued, irritated, impatient, unfocused. He has to give that up. He has to move into the calm water. He has to leave that past behind. That is the truth. That is the clarity. He's learning how to do it. He's looking into a lot of things. He's studying a lot of areas, probably doing a lot of research on this situation as to how he can move, where he'll get some peace in himself. Excuse me, when he will find some peace in himself, right? Whatever that situation demands, where he will find his independence from all the hard difficulties that had been prevailing in his life in here, guys, okay? And that is what he is kind of trying to balance out, how he brings back his Ten of Cups. What is that you want from him, really? He's trying to understand. He's trying to understand, right? In the 3D, he's trying to understand how to bring back his own independence. That's point one, right? Because this is where a lot of balance is required, where he's leaving that control over his domination and money to move towards the calm water, to move towards his peace, to move towards his heart's desire. So therefore, a lot of balance is required in the situation with you as well, who together can bring about the Ten of Cups in here. Right? And that is what he's trying to figure out. And I see that happening, guys. And this is where the King of Cups comes in. This is where the King of Cups comes in, to bring back the Ten of Cups. And this is the quest. This is what he is learning. This is what he is accepting. This is what he is understanding, that he will have to change himself. He will have to prioritize what he needs in his life now. Really, what is more important to him? Is it the Ten of Cups that's more important to him? Or is it something that he wants? What is that? That happiness, the fulfillment with you, Divine Feminine, where both you guys can leave and move towards the calm water, where both of you guys will bring back peace for one another, where both you guys will bring back and compromise on everything in the past that has happened in this connection in here, right? So this is where he is understanding the situation much, much better, because he's, again, remember I said, he is realigning himself with the situation here as the King of Cups, because, okay, this is also what I'm getting, guys. This is a situation where he is also trying to understand if you are going to trust him now. If you will trust him, because trust is very, very important in this story here. Right? So he's trying to understand what he needs to do. That will help you to trust him back. Right? So this is where the story is moving forward to in this situation, guys, because clearly he's coming out of a bad situation to find his own independence. That's point one. He's trying to ground himself. That's point two. He's trying to balance himself in figuring out how he can make you happy. What is that? That message he delivers to you will make you shine and smile. Once again, very important. What is that communication that needs to happen now without any kind of hesitation to make this victorious move towards a new path in here? Very, very important at this point in time, guys. This is the realization that is seeping because he knows that you are a very balanced person, divine feminine. He sees you as a very balanced person with financial independence and freedom in your life. He knows that you are not in that situation of allowing any kind of other things to happen in your life. You're very alert, you're very sharp, right? You know what the truth is, and you want nothing but the truth in this situation from him now. So either he tells you the truth or the situation doesn't exist. And he knows that. So what he is trying to do right now, guys, he is trying to understand how he can bring back the trust in this connection and compromise on the past and compromise with you on the past situation. What is that that will balance out the situation and compromise will be the 10 of cups, will be that situation that will be the happy family situation that is not only going to make him happy, it's going to bring the two of you together with your extended family, friends, relatives, children, whoever it is that you all have in your life to make things work in the right way, right? Where the balance will be in equal part, in equal proportion, right here. But what it is that he's trying to understand how he can bring that balance. How he can bring that 10 of cups situation in the story is very, very important for him at this point in time. That is what he is coming to his realization. He's doing a lot of research. He's trying to be very intuitive here, right? He's learning new things. He's probably learning, talking to people. There is a message he's getting from other people, maybe younger people or young person, whoever it is, right? Who is probably giving him some kind of feedback on the situation as well. But there is some kind of message being delivered because right now he is figuring out the best possible option or the way that he can have in order to bring back this entire 10 of cups happiness in this connection in here. Very important for him. And that is what he's leaving some old situations behind. He's forgiving himself. He's grounding back his own reality here. He's trying to become more firm and more stable in his own life because obviously that stability factor had been missing. So he is trying to become more firm, more stable towards this situation, towards this connection, and even towards his own emotions, right? Where earlier maybe he was off and on with his emotional part of the story, that sometimes he would be very, very emotional towards a situation, and sometimes you would see the man completely in a different frame of mind or not showing their emotions at all or not being emotional at all, or that love had not been exposed or expressed towards this connection. Because that is where, see, again, he was having a problem expressing his emotions. That's what I'm getting out of these cards in here, guys. He was having a problem exposing these emotions in the rightful way because he himself had not been in a balanced state in his life. So this is where he is coming to the point of his realization that he needs to bring back adequate balance of emotions, to bring back the 10 of cups in this situation in here. Very, very important. Why is the king of cups? He wants to give you back a complete sense of fulfillment, of love, of happiness in this situation. Why is the king of cups here, please? Bittersweet. Yeah, see, he has a lot of memories. He has a lot of bitter and sweet memories of the victim that he had been. Look, of the victim, right? So he knows that he had been in that victim mentality. He had been in that victim mentality mode where he had prevented his love from coming out towards the Ten of Cups, because he himself had a lot of resentment, had a lot of different things in his life going on. He had been distracted, he had been unfocused, tired, irritated, and impatient, where he did not allow his love to come out because he was sitting in that victim mode. And he still has that bittersweet memories that he wants to come out of from this situation in here. And that is why he is doing what he is doing. He's trying to bring back this balance in his life in here. Because definitely he has been out of balance for a very, very long time. For a very long time. Let's look at the Two of Pentacles. He has been out of balance for a very long time, where he knows that it was him. It was him, because he was sitting in that victim mentality mode where he had not been able to move forward in his life. The Two of Pentacles. And that's why he was always like one, he was always struggling to find a balance in his emotions as well, because he was not realigned with love. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to realign himself to the Ten of Cups with the Two of Pentacles. He's trying to realign himself so that he can bring back and perseverance. Yeah, and he's very, very determined to make this happen, because this is where impasse, this is where he was stuck. This is where he was stuck in this situation, because he was scared of the gossip that he's completing, which had prevented him from moving towards his destiny and faith in this journey here, guys. So now he's like, this is again a lot of people. Okay, this is also a part of the story, guys, and he was very scared about the gossip part. Remember, we saw the gossip card here. It was because of that he was not able to move, because he was scared that if he comes forward and shows you the love, or gives you or brings back the Ten of Cups, other people around him is going to talk. And that is where he was not able to move. That is where he was feeling victimized. That is where he had the bittersweet memories, which today he wants to give up and move in a new direction altogether in here. Right? Altogether, because the truth has hit him. The clarity has come that he cannot sit in that Nine of Wands energy anymore. Feeling tired, feeling frustrated, feeling drained, feeling emotionally disabled. He cannot. He has to move. He has to take that leap of faith. He has to take that initiative towards the story, because you, as the Queen of Swords, all that you want from him is the victorious truth, and nothing but the victory of truth in here, which will compromise, which will allow this compromise to happen. And he knows that. He knows that that is eventually going to free this connection. That is eventually going to reward him in this connection. That is eventually going to bring him back all the rewards that both you guys are going to put in with your hard work, or has already put in with your hard work in this connection. But what is very important to him now is this part of the story as the King of Cups, where he was holding himself with that victim mentality, or in that victim mentality mode, because of this gossip part of the third party situation, right? Where a lot of third party situation existed in his life that was not allowing his freedom to happen in the story with the Ten of Cups. That is something he is about to complete. He's about to complete. He doesn't want to be there anymore. He's giving that up. He's in perseverance of a different story in his life altogether, of a different story in his life. With the Eight of Cups and the Six of Swords, he's moving in a clear direction right now. He's moving towards a clear direction right now, which is the direction that is going to bring him back his peace, tranquility, happiness, and a safe landing in a beautiful place. So he's moving towards a very, very clear direction, towards a very clear goal in his life at this point in time within the next 7 days. But at the same time, he is also moving towards this victory in the completion from that victim mentality, which was not allowing this clear direction in life to take place, right? Because again, like I told you, he was fighting against his will, he was fighting against his strength, he was feeling insecure, feeling very vulnerable, feeling very tight within him, right? And that is from where he's moving towards a clear direction, a clear alignment of values, a clear goal in life, a clear life path towards peace, towards a serenity. This is where the serenity comes in, towards a peace, towards a serenity, right? Any negative feelings and emotions that was left over from yesterday is leaving him at this point in time, guys. Is leaving him at this point in time. Okay? And that's why he's able to come back into the King of Cups energy with regards to the trust that he wants to bring back, because he knows that you had bittersweet memories of him as well, right? That is where he wants to completely change the entire picture and make it a different story for you guys, for the Divine Feminine altogether in here. So we'll keep checking on the energy as I told you guys, okay, and we'll see what is happening from here onwards till the next part of the reading happens in the story in the next week, right? And we'll see where he is moving, to what direction, which direction, and what is happening in this twin flame connection as well. So enjoy this reading, guys. Until we see you once again, till then, goodbye, God bless, Khuda Hafiz, Namaste.